We are back. We're another Wuthering Waves video. We are playing Wuthering Waves. Chat, say hi. YouTube, say hi back. TTVE_thin. Every single day we stream 3:30 p.m. Eastern on the weekdays. Weekend, 7 a.m. We are going over the Whimpering Waste. So there's two massive updates to Prydwen. We're doing Whimpering Waste, and we're going to record the other updates in a different video. Also, yo, Kebby, thank you for the follow, brother. I got my alerts off while we're recording this. I appreciate you. So I want to break this down and see what happens. You guys know Whimpering Waste. I genuinely believe it's really fun. I just really don't like the AI, and I think the tokens could be a lot better. But I want to see what they have to talk about. So, about the tier list, we have to go through all the yapping first to understand how they categorize everything, and then we can move forward. So, let me make this a little bit bigger. Perfect. About the tier list, we offer separate tier lists that assess characters based on difficult criteria due to the diversity of the character traits and abilities, different contents required in order to beat them. As a result, we recommend you to check out all of the tier lists before we offer concluding a full character's position in the game's meta. The better they perform in a variety of game modes, the more valuable they are overall, which makes massive sense. Someone like Camilla, it is a massive W, right? And thank you for the follow, brothers. I appreciate you. Is a massive W because she is great in WeWa, and she's still really solid in TOA. So that's fine. Important characters, tower diversity. Oh, okay, this is covering tower diversity changes. Let's skip that. We'll do Whimpering Waste. This tier list assesses characters based on their combat potential and another challenging endgame content. Whimpering Waste, this game mode in a similar fashion to Honkai Star Rail Pure Fiction, heavily favors a character's ability to deal with several waves of smaller, lower health enemies quickly, AoE. It requires 2 teams of 3 equipped with strong echoes and good weapons. AoE characters are very strong and very strongly. Oh, I thought I was going crazy. Favored over single target ones, almost always creating a big discrepancy between 2 archetypes. Okay. Skill ceilings. As an action combat game, Wuthering Waves offers many mechanics for players to exploit, some of which are not easily executed but can boost the character's performance drastically. Swap canceling is an example of such a mechanic, allowing you to switch out a character mid-attack to a new character while still fully executing the move you interrupted, essentially allowing you to attack with 2 characters at once. Such techniques won't be for everyone, but a tier list must assess characters based on their optimal performance in optimal teams. Okay, I just hope that although like you have to include that, we still cater it more towards casuals, I think, because I truly do believe that these tier lists are for casuals. But I think it is for a combination of both. But yeah, okay. So with that being said, in order for us to list performance of characters, majority of the player base will only consider the easiest and most powerful swap cancels, such as Encore, Cosmos Rupture, the Sentry, Construct Echo, and other similarly lengthy animations. That makes perfect sense. The most complex swap cancels with short time windows, such as Kalchero's Death Messengers or Changli's True Sights, will only be considered for certain character tags. This is perfect. This is genuinely, I think, the proper way to go about it, because again, hitting the monkey and then swapping to someone else is super easy. But doing the Death Messenger stuff and like I do the Changli things because I'm the greatest of all time. W Changli means, hopefully you guys love me now. That is not, I think, applicable for the casual player. So criteria and roles. Okay, so buffs and debuffs that vary periodically are not considered but may impact short-term unit performance. Criteria: all characters are assumed to be utilizing their full best 3-man team. Okay. Played with optimal baseline rotations without input mistakes, using best echo main sets and correct energy regen values. This means that overwhelming majority of rotations will be executed in a simplistic 1 character at a time manner. Perfect. That makes perfect sense. I think this is the way to go. All characters using maximum level gold rarity echoes. All echo main sets are considered to be the best in slot for the character's build. Each echo used by the character is assumed to have at least 5 substats with average rolls. Good stuff. 15 echo substats are designated as good substats the character would desire, where the remaining 10 are random. This represents fairly high quality endgame gear. 5-star characters are all rated at sequence 0, and then obviously Spectre Rover and Havoc Rover are different. 5 stars are rated as sequence 6. 4 stars. All characters assessed as if they have access to all R1 of the 4-star weapons, R5 of all 2-star weapons, 3-star weapons, and R1 of the standard 5-star Winter Broom weapon series. Any one of which is given to select for free at Union level 45. Best out of these choices is used for their assessment. Okay. So they're doing this based off of standard weapon banner weapons, which I think, again, this seems perfectly fair, perfectly valid. So let's keep it pushing. All characters are considered to be the maximum possible level with Forte upgrades. Perfect. Roles. So DPS are compared to other DPS, for example, adjusted based on their performance within the role. So DPS, character focusing on being your main damage dealer, and the rest of your team is built to synergize with them and make them stronger. Stacking echo set bonuses, character kits, outro amplify bonuses together a power up a DPS is the goal of a lot of meta teams. Some exceptions exist as certain DPS characters can be played with multiple characters of the same role, but they'll generally aim to occupy most of your team's on-field time. Okay. 14, 15 seconds. This time can be very varied depending on the character. So criteria, character rotation difficulty, potentially for mistakes, a severe decrease in performance if their playstyle isn't the absolute best possible. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's exactly why I think Camilla's at 0.5. What's going on, small? Dual DPS is easy, just memorize skill cooldowns. Not easy for the average player. We have to be fair. Also, good morning, Brad. Good morning, man. Character damage best within the possible team. Character on-field flexibility and adaptability. Does being forced to dodge hurt them? Are they able to follow a scripted rotation easily? Can they adapt to different enemy mechanisms? Character ability to deal with different situations. AoE cleave single target. This has a minor impact in TOA as single target is favored. And Whimpering Waste, dealing AoE or cleave damage is heavily favored. Hybrid characters directly support your damage dealer of choice, often with incredibly synergistic kits, specialized with outro buffs like Amplify, Multipliers, or other beneficial effects, or even by a greater source of secondary damage. Complete their rotation before your DPS returns to the full damage combo, as their buffs in some cases expire when switching. Hybrid characters, fittingly to their name, can often execute a variety of roles and offer offensive, supportive, and sustaining abilities, if not all three at the same time. As a result of this, they fill the widest variety of niche and playstyles. They typically want to execute their combos in the shortest time windows possible in order to generate concerto, and resonance energy quickly to get their buffs. Appreciate the follow, brother. Welcome in. Certain hybrid characters may be especially desired to deal additional damage and coordinates with your main dealer, but in any case, they'll usually want to swap in and out off field. Okay, so criteria, character rotation difficulty, potential for mistakes or severe decrease in performance if their playstyle isn't absolute best possible. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's why Sahua is number one. She will forever be number one. She is literally goated. Also, it was good, Hotel. How you feeling, brother? We'll get to it, Lavender. We'll see what the deal is. We'll see what the deal is. I just want to give the preface first. Character performance within the best team possible. How many effective teams this character is playable in? Impact on a kit's impact of kit on a team's performance. Units that can carry a team's rank higher. Character on-field flexibility and adaptability. Does being forced to dodge? Same stuff. Okay, pretty decent stuff. In support. Support characters have the capability to provide benefit to the team regardless of the order in which they are switched in. So as to not conflict with the majority of hybrid characters, outro buffs that tend to solely buff the next character to enter. Their primary utilities provide team-wide buffing like Verena, like Shorekeeper, right? But they may often be desirable in providing defensive, sustaining, healing capabilities as well. All of this in the shortest field time possible, as they typically aren't personally responsible for the majority of their team's damage. Same stuff there. Other criteria affecting ratings. The criteria above this selection applies to our tier list. However, each unique tier list based on their average value in specific modes. For certain hybrid abilities to perform effectively at lower levels of investment, if applicable, this is only a slight bonus judged on a separate scale. For healing and shielding, how much sustain and defense utility do they provide? Okay, cool. Ratings and meta lines. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, we're breaking down. So this is for Weewa. So Whimpering Waste. Okay. Well, what do we start with? Okay, let's start with DPSs. So we'll start with the DPSs. Camilla being T0 makes perfect sense. She does the like the little spin, her ephemeral. I think if you time it right, her ephemeral can take out multi-wave. Same with Havoc Rover, right? She's pretty solid. The only problem is like they just run around. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they be silly goofers and you miss them. But she is honestly great. Also, Kay, good morning. So I'm not gonna lie to you, very happy about this. I have nothing bad to say, and her ult has a pretty big AoE as well. Gion being T0 makes perfect sense as well. Bro, okay, I will say this though, I'm not gonna lie to you. The couple times I know Gion is really solid for this game mode, but like sometimes what happens is if the enemies separate and there's an enemy like let's say here, but the most of the enemies are over here, the AI wants to focus this enemy. And it's so frustrating. Like you have to like, I don't know. It kind of just frustrates me. I know he's T0. He's absolutely undeniably T0. But yeah, this I get 1000%. So shout out to Gian, man. Power creep doesn't exist. HSR can never, you know. His grouping's amazing. Oh, for sure, his grouping stops here. Shout out to Chang Li, man. Chang Li with the expert tag, multi-roll. You know what I'm saying? She could be T0. Her burst does a crap ton of damage. With her specifically, if you run that token, where if you do the skill with her and Zhang Liao, technically, that's probably my favorite team comp. That's my favorite team comp with the game. If you hit that skill, it takes down your resonance energy cooldown by like 20% or something. You can activate it a couple times. She's just really good, man. Her E kind of knocks them all up into the air, and you can kind of just have a moment to swap off and use someone else, like a Yang Yang or a Zhang Liao, whatever the case may be. So, and then again, her burst, big damage. Once you do her burst again, her Forte Circuit and massive AoE makes perfect sense. I think the expert tag is absolutely warranted. Zhang Liao is still really good as well. Zhang Liao is still amazing as well. I mean, dude's fucking burst brings everyone into the middle, massive AoE, slows down time. Like, it makes sense. It really does. And they paired together perfectly. And again, I use that token on him, or I use the bigger token. I assume there's no mentions of tokens here. There isn't. Okay. She's not bad for we would know she's amazing. T1. This is where it gets a little rough, bro. It gets a little rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. Peeb. I'm gonna skip over Jinxie for a moment. I think Peeb is genuinely really not made for this game mode. If you are running Peeb and let's say Spectra Rover, you will have a horrendous time. Like, it's not going to be fun. You're going to be miserable. Can you clear it? Let's say if you ran like a Peeb and a Chang Li with Spectra Rover or something, 1000%. I did it for someone else recently offline. You're able to clear the game mode with Peeb, but the problem is that most of the time your freeze is not up enough, and even if it is, you're not able to freeze everyone in that vicinity. So she's kind of just mid, unfortunately, for this mode. It is what it is. Expert bringing it 0.5. Again, I get it, because if you are able to utilize her perfectly, it can definitely work with another DPS. But like a P Piper carry is not where it's at. Jinxie, I don't like Jinxie in this game mode, man. I really don't. I think it's honestly, she doesn't put out, since the enemy's HP are so low, doing that whole rotation with her, building up her incandescence and whatnot, it I feel like it's a waste half the time, because they're just gonna die regardless. I really don't think she's a good pick for this. I actually would personally put her in T1.5 and then put her in an expert as T1 personally. I don't think there's a need to go around and try to like get her Forte max. Like, it just takes way too long. Like, their rotations absolutely swap super fast. Her rotation, her on-field time and Gion's on-field time is long, but they're grouping everybody in. I agree to 100% Ryu. I think Carlotta is a lot better than Jinxie in this. And so getting to Carlotta, I think Carlotta should be a T1 as opposed to T1.5. Now, Carlotta obviously doesn't have the biggest AoE in the game, but she still pulls out crazy damage, and she is able to freeze people. And when you do her Forte Circuit, that actually has a wide range, and it does a great ton of damage. And her fourth shot is pretty big too. So I don't get it for Jinxie. I think Jinxie's on-field rotation is just way too long, and for too little reward. I would easily swap these two 1000%. Peeb I would keep in T1. Havoc Rover, I mean, like, I ran Havoc Rover with like Camilla, but like I got carried by Camilla. You know what I'm saying? Havoc Rover being T1, I don't really know. I don't know, man. I feel like he's kind of mid. Man. Also, good morning, June. Good morning. I feel like Havoc Rover is kind of mid in this game. I don't know if I would put him in 1. Like, his burst does damage, like when you hit it, and then obviously you can do your skill. Like, after that, he's just normal attacking single enemies. Why does Jinxie have the expert tag? I think the reason why Jinxie has the expert tag is because if you're like a quick swap demon, like Verena, Jinxie, Chang Li, you could probably make it work a little bit better, but I think she should definitely be 1.5. Also, it's good, Ro. Yeah, I would probably move him down to 1.5, man. I feel like other than his burst, Yeah, like it just you're just attacking single target enemies, like especially if this is your main DPS in the team. I know like him, Yang Yang, and Farina can absolutely can like yes, can they clear it for sure? But if we're talking like general like generalization of like not as difficult, I think Havoc Rover is a little bit more difficult. So I'd probably put him in 1.5. I don't know why I found Havoc Rover nicer than Jinxie. Really, Havoc Rover Yap Yap is both free and strong enough to clear. I guess that's probably why they're there. I guess so. I mean, I just feel like when you're looking at the playing field and you compare it to Peeb or Carlotta, like the amount of AoE that they have, and it's also not just only like kind of normal attacks, just focusing in on one person. I do believe in which that like again, yes, he once you activate his forte, you're just doing a bunch of normal attacks, and like his on-field time is so much in order to get his burst back, and he's not hitting a lot of enemies. I don't really know. So I would kind of put him at 1.5 personally. Fucking Encore. Who the fuck is using Encore? I'm sorry to tell you. I don't, in my mind, listen, I have not tried Encore. I cannot sit here and speak on them and make a definitive statement. But in my opinion, I feel like Encore would be really bad for this game mode. I have no idea why they're in 1.5. I feel like they would be more towards tier 2. I don't get it, personally. Encore is suffering. That makes sense. I really don't see. Oh, so it's good, Aya. How you feeling, brother? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just, yeah, she's demonic against single targets. When you fight single targets, you fight like a wave of 3 fucking big golems. That's really it, you know? Just it could be really good at Weeble, but you have to think differently. Don't focus on doing the full rotation, doing full blast. I do sub TBS as fast concern. I'll blast more often. Okay, I mean, like, yeah, again, I could see Jinxie being good 1000%. I just don't see them being a T1 at expert tag to be on the same level as Cheng Li or Zhang Liao. I think a T1.5, and I think if you swap these two, I would be a lot happier. I think fucking Encore, I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck she's doing here personally, but and the rest are just trash. I don't care about Chixia, Calgero, Ling Yang is whatever. I think Encore should definitely be down. I can't see her in practice doing anything crazy. Hybrid, baby. Hybrid, man. Hybrid. Yo, Roshi is the GOAT. Like, Roshia, her E, her gadget, her Mamma Mia. She is buffing Camilla, who's also the best. She is technically buffing Rover as well. So I absolutely understand Roshia's placement as T0, and there really is nobody as good as her in AoE when it comes to the game at all. And again, she has 2 different types of AoE, so it is what it is. I think she's amazing. Also, good morning, Hell. How are you? Roshia the GOAT? Mamma Mia! Michael Corleone! Yang Yang, T0.5. Oh, hell, Yang Yang. Hell, Yang Yang. Yeah, bro, Yang Yang's goated, man. There's no other way to say it. S6 with the attack bonus, plus her ult that is not that bad to get, and her Concerto energy regen is super fast, and she's funneling energy to your next character. She's just goated, man. She really is a great character. Obviously, her burst isn't the same as like Johnshin. Like, it doesn't have the same AoE, but it's more than enough. So T0.5 is great. It's just the fact of the matter is that Roshi is so strong, and her AoE is not tied to her ult, that she's just above everyone. Yinlin being at 0.5. Do you think Rover's T1 because of Yang Yang? It could be. It could be because of Yang Yang and Roshia, honestly. I don't know about Yinlin being 0.5, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Yinlin being at 0.5. I know there's the, again, the token where if you hit E, it slows down your, or it fastens your ult. I just think that her Forte circuit is really annoying, having to reapply to a bunch of waves of enemies. And if you use it in a sense where you apply it to a wave of enemies that's about to die, and then you wipe them, you're fucked. So, I think if they were going to put her in 0.5, I think she'd be in 1.0 with an expert tag, because of the fact that you will lose that mark if you fuck up that rotation. How do you use Yinlin and Wuwa? You hit E, attack the characters, get the Forte, mark them, and then after that, that's 17 strikes. Like, that's 17 coordinated attacks. But the problem is that most of the time, they just die before that, right? You know what cassette makes her better, though? What, the coordinated strike one? I mean, maybe. Possibly, but I still think that, like, as a whole, she's not getting the full use of her kit if she's not able to consistently apply that forte circuit, right? So I think she is good. I think she's great. But I do think this is a situation where you could probably put an expert tag, because a lot of people might fuck up. They'll do their forte circuit when there's one enemy left, and then that enemy fucking dies, and now they're shit out of luck, and they're eased on cooldown. They look fucking stupid. The rotation just isn't as straight up or as simple, you know? It's not the best for waves. It isn't, you know? You should just ignore the forte and use her E and Lib as a fast nuker. For sure, right? But people are still going to try to use her forte circuit, and that's still a part of her damage, right? Isn't that where most of her damage come from? Isn't like a 20% increase or some bullshit like that? So I don't know. I would put her at T1 personally. Mortefi is fine. Mortefi at T1 is good. I mean, he's with Gion, so it is what it is. No one's running fucking Donjon and Mortefi, right? So, fucking, it's fine. Sanhwa's goated. Sanhwa will always be goated. She's just so fast. Her Concerto energy regen is second to none. S0, I mean S6, at S5, she gets that 15 Concerto for free. She does no damage. She absolutely does no damage, so I could possibly maybe seeing someone saying to put her down, but I think T1 is fine, especially if running with Shorekeeper. And GG's fine as well. I don't think this is anything necessarily too crazy. I kind of agree with this. I would bring this down with an expert tag though, for sure. T1.5, no one's using Donjon. Have Spectra Rover is fucking whatever. It's fucking whatever. He's kind of mid. These characters don't exist, although we could use helicopter. John Shanik was Yoo-hoo. Brother, okay, let's see this. Supports. Yeah, I don't know why Shorekeeper's T0, if you want me to be honest with you. I actually don't understand that. I would easily swap these. Her outro skill takes 2 seconds to get, no matter what half you start on. If you start on the burst half or you start on the Concerto half. So I don't know why. Like, she is Verena is 1000% a lot easier to use. If you're running Shorekeeper, you still got to get her Concerto, which takes a lot more time, even with variation. It's just more field time than I think is needed. And a lot of the tokens give massive buffs. Shorekeeper grouping, I mean, like, I guess. Like, I guess, like, with the normal attacks, but, like, is the grouping, like, I just don't see, if they're just putting her in T0 just because of the fact that the normal / heavy attacks can, like, group into the middle of the stage, I just think that's a little weird. It's like, okay, but what about, like, the rest of their fucking kit? You know, like, I genuinely believe Verena is 1000% better than her. I tried to grouping his work half of the time. Yeah, because the enemies fucking run away, right? Like, the enemies just straight up run away. So, again, it's not my hill to die on. It's absolutely not my hill to die on. But I truly do believe that Verena is just easier and just gives you a straight up attack buff that you don't have to worry about getting, you know, managing your Concerto energy, especially when you're trying to fucking bang things out, you know? Verena is better, in my opinion. I agree as well. Her buffs are irrelevant when you get 40 crit rate, 80 crit buffs anyways. That's what I'm saying, Mystery. That's not, like, if we're just putting here because of the fact that she could group a couple enemies, I think that's a little silly. But it is what it is. So I would probably swap these two. Baiji 1.5 is fine. The rest of them are absolutely dog. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think this is fair, genuinely. I do believe this is fair. We'll probably... Special thanks to Saintontes and Ethan. Oh my god, bro. Damn. It's almost like they know me. You know, I think it's great. We'll go over this changelog in a little bit for the other. We'll save that for the other video. Yeah, overall, pretty solid. I think the only massive changes I would make is probably swapping these two. Genuinely. I mean, I could see, you know what? I'd say leave him T1. I say leave him T1 with Yang Yang, with Rosia, with Camilla. I'd say fuck it, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. I would put her down with an expert tag. I'd swap these two, but other than that, I truly do believe it's not bad at all. I think it's a pretty solid tier list, and I think this is very casual friendly. Let me say, YouTube, I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.